Hi everyone, Chris Anderson with Mount Comfort RV. We continue the Corona Chronicles here. It's funny, people are starting to ask for them. It's been a few days, and you're hitting us up on the comments looking for them. So we're flattered that you're following along and all that good stuff. We apologize that it does take us sometimes a few days in between videos. It takes more time editing than anybody would ever imagine, and finding the time to shoot and weather, and you add to that the fact that with the COVID-19 that's going around, we're working kind of a skeleton crew right now. So like we have a third of our staff at the dealership of what is normally here, so that keeps everybody a little busier and that type of thing. So just trying to be responsible in that regard. So without further ado, the winner was, and it was close. I thought my 4369 was going to pull it out, but you short bus lovers, you're getting your wish here. We're in a 3407 Ventana. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Of course, the driver and passenger seats do spin around here, and I think that's more important on a short bus than it is, say, on a 4369. I don't know how often on a 4369 you're going to need to rotate the chairs around and make them part of the living area. But certainly with a short bus, you're talking about a New Air or a 34-foot gas or diesel coach, spinning these chairs around into the living area becomes that much more important. So picture these two spun around. Then you've got a sofa. That is a hide-a-bed sofa, by the way. Hide-a-bed sofa with the two ottomans. And that gives you a few good viewing angles here. So you would have this seat that spins around, three seats there, all straight across from the televator, which is here. Where's our televator button? Here it is. So our Samsung television will pop up in front of that window. You could also watch from the dinette here as well. The nice part about newer televisions is when you get close to them, they don't pixel out the way that an old TV would. So you can actually sit here and watch it. You're getting some seriously big TV at that point. So 3407 Ventana, that means we're under 35 feet long total, which I know there are a lot of parks out there and everything that have some size restrictions on them. I think there's less and less as time goes on, but if you are liking parks that might have a size restriction, this coach is safely under 35 feet. So that's good. The other nice part, keep in mind with Newmar, their first two digits of their model number is indicative of the overall length. Most manufacturers want you to believe that, but open up a brochure sometime and look at what most people's 29-foot coach is or 32-foot coach is. Add 3 feet is what I always tell people, and you'll get close to what their actual length is. And they come up with all these funny excuses. Well, they measured the inside. No, they didn't. I've taken my tape measure. They made up a number that they thought would sell better is what they did, and tried to convince you of that. With Newmar, if you see the first two digits of the model number like this is 34, you understand that it's somewhere between 34 feet even and 34 feet 11 inches. I mean, it's somewhere in there. It is not 35 feet long. It's certainly not 36 or 37 feet long. So we have a true under 35 foot coach here. What do we get when we step up from Country Star to Ventana? Well, we're going to get lots of things. As we mentioned before, every time you go up in the Newmar line, all of the trim seems to just get that much nicer. Your trim level across the entire platform gets better, whether it's a wall sconce, whether it's the chairs that we have in the dinette, whether it's the amount of detail in the Corian countertops or the polished porcelain tile floors. All of that just got that much nicer when we stepped up to it. So the entire decor as a whole got nicer. We went to the next step up on the furniture as well. So furniture companies like Flex Steel have, they have $500 sofas, $1,000 sofas, $1,500 sofas on up the line. Same thing. We moved up a grade there also. This is the first coach we're talking about that is actually all solid wood throughout the coach. That is something that the doors are always solid, but a lot of times you'll have a wrap wood. Now, understand with Newmar, even their wrapped wood is pretty nice because it is actual wood underneath, but it will have a vinyl wrap over the top of it. There are coaches out there that use like a particle board or something like that and wrap that. The first time that gets wet, it's trouble. So even Newmar's wrapped wood is nice, but this is not wrapped wood in this coach. This Ventana is 100% solid wood throughout the entire coach. One-piece fiberglass roof, dual pane windows. These are just things you would expect at this price point. This is also an all-electric coach. When you have an all-electric coach, that means no propane tank. You'll never run out of propane. That also means we had to come up with a different way of heating our water and a different way of being our primary heating system for the coach, which would be the Oasis system. The Oasis system is like a diesel-fired boiler. We'll show it to you on the outside. Little box that sits on the outside. It's like a boiler room, okay? And it'll either run off of diesel or electric, and fluid circulates through there and gets heated up by either diesel or electric, and then gets circulated throughout the coach when you call for the primary heat. They hid it in plain sight. You'll have little things like this. That's a little heat exchanger there. We did a separate video on this several years ago. You can look up Mount Comfort RV hydronic heating, and we did a video on it where I actually show you what a heat exchanger and everything is, and how it works and what it looks like. But this coach does have that. It also is what heats your water. Nice part about that is it's unlimited hot water. So if you're hooked up at a campsite and you've got on-site sewer and you've got water supply, city water hookup, if you want to go take a 45-minute shower, go take a 45-minute shower. You'll have hot water through the whole thing. So it's one of the big things you get when you step up from Country Star to here. I mentioned the polished porcelain tile floor instead of some sort of a soft floor, be it a laminate or vinyl plank in some of the other coaches we've looked at. This is actually polished porcelain tile with a soft grout in between, a flexible grout rather is what they call it. So that's a beautiful feature on here. Talked about the solid hardwood. We talked about a little nicer furniture. Let's get into it. We'll start up in the control center of this coach and kind of go from there. For 2020, of course, this, like other coaches, did go to the all-digital dash. See if I can get that up here. And we'll fire up the coach. Let you get in there, get a good look at those gauges. Nice cluster here. Everything is easy to see. And this is going to be pretty standard on all of the Freightliner chassis that we do. This is a Freightliner full air ride, full air brake chassis. The comfort drive just kicked in. You could feel all the pressure go out of the wheel. Let's get a good shot here, Tony. We can kind of get a better shot than what we've done in the past. This for Freightliner for 2020, this is our new selector here for how we put this coach in gear. I'll put my foot on the brake so we don't go places. But to put this coach in gear, we simply put it in D for drive, and then we would release the air brake, and we'd be going places. Or back it up for reverse, just roll that backwards. So that's actually putting this coach into gear. And we push down on this, that would activate our Jake brake, or our exhaust brake, for keeping us from overspeeding going down hills. So that's all built into the stalk here. This is the computer control. It's right on the wheel. And then as I'm hitting buttons here, you can see me scrolling through the different functions right there on the center console. So that is something that's made to be very intuitive and easy. Bluetooth is built into the chassis, not into the radio. That's so much better than when it's built into the chassis, because the microphone is built in here, so it actually picks you up very well. When somebody calls in, they will flash right up on the screen who it is, and you can just glance down and then hit the answer button right here with your right thumb. Super easy, very much like a modern day car. You can put aftermarket radios in old cars, and you can put Bluetooth in there, but it's never quite the same as when it's integrated from the factory. This is factory integration, and that's going to make that a better setup. We have wireless charging right here in the center console, so you put any newer phone there, should charge right up. Mine works fine on that. That's how I always charge my phone. Okay. And then a couple storage drawers here in the center. All of our regular HVAC controls are right here. You can see our backup camera, and of course turn signal cameras. When I turn the turn signal on, we're going to see what's on the left side of the coach now, and then we'll see what's on the right side of the coach when I turn the other turn signal on. Beautiful, beautiful day outside in Indianapolis. We do have the equalizer leveling system over here. So that is a fully automatic leveling system. When you pull into your campsite, set your brake before you even shut your engine off. You can run your slides out and then hit the power button and hit auto level, and the coach will handle it from there. 2 cup holders to the driver's left, 1 to the passenger side also. I'm going to move over to the passenger seat here. Your feet don't have to just be dangling. We actually have a step cover here. Where's the switch? There it is. Check that out. That's made out of the same Corian that the step surround is. And once that's in, this is perfectly safe to stand on. So Makes it nice if you're getting into these cabinets or anything that you don't have to worry about falling down in the step well. All right, so we'll start here. On the left-hand side, I'm just going to quickly go over what all we have in the main control center here. This is our WineGuard over-the-air antenna, and that is made to dial in channels once you get set up at the campground. Next to that is our in-motion satellite dish that gets the stuff that's not over the air, and that is programmable for either Dish Network or DirecTV. Move over again. This is our power management system. This keeps us at a specific amperage. So if we're on a 50 amp service, it's going to keep us under 50 amps. If we're on a 30 amp service, it'll keep us under 30 amps. And when you go over your amp level, used to, I mean, growing up, you'd always get in trouble if you were the one that turned on one too many things in the motorhome and popped the circuit breaker out at the post. Dad was going to holler at you. So this kind of takes that off the table, if you will, and it does all the thinking for you. So that's the nice part about that system. This is that Oasis, or that hydronic heating system I mentioned earlier. This is the primary heating of your coach, number one, and number two, it's also the only source of heating water in your coach. So you can do both of that right here. You can either fire it from diesel or you can fire it from electric. Just depends on which one that you're wanting to do based on what you're plugged into in that type of scenario. You will get a little hotter water off of the diesel burner than you will off of the electric, but it will work on both. All right, over here we have actually our inverter power. Now remember, inverters take a 12 volt DC current, direct current, like what comes off a car battery, and changes it into 110, 120 volt AC, alternating current, like what we have in our households. That's what this does. Now, when this would come in handy is if you pulled in to a truck stop and you were just going to spend the night, get a few hours of sleep, and you wanted to watch some TV or plug in a CPAP machine or something along those lines, and just get some power, but you didn't really want to fire up the generator, didn't want to mess with that, or didn't want to make the noise, whatever. You can actually, for many, many hours, you can survive off of just your inverter here, and it's also what runs your refrigerator going down the road. It's a 2800 watt inverter, so it is what runs your refrigerator when you're going down the road. Your alternator supplies your batteries supply the inverter changes it to regular household current and runs the refrigerator, and that's the cycle of life. We can do that forever, but it'll also work when you're stopped. You could watch TV or still run the refrigerator, that type of thing, even when you're stopped just off of battery power. That's what this system does. It also has your AGS in it, which is auto generator start. Auto generator start, you can set this coach, if you're leaving it in storage outdoors or something, you can actually set this coach up to where when the voltage hits a specific point, as batteries will fade over time, your batteries get down to a specific point, say 11.7 volts, it'll start itself up, run the generator for 3 hours, charge your batteries back up, and then shut itself back off again. You can also set that to come on at a certain temperature if you have pets inside or something along there. So nice features in here. On our little display screen here that I just touched, we can do two things. We can check our levels and we can mess with our HVAC system. So we'll start with our tank levels. This tells us right now what all of our voltages are at on our house and our chassis batteries. Also tells us what our tank levels are at, and it's by percentage, not 1/3, 2/3, and full like a lot of the older systems used to have. We can turn on the tank heaters and the water pump and all of that stuff here, including autofill your fresh water tank. The autofill feature is actually very nice because what you can do with that is, let's say you've been camping for a couple of weeks, hooked up to city water at a campground, say at the KOA right next door to us, because you just bought a brand new coach from me at Mount Comfort RV. But if you've been there for 2 weeks, but the next day you're leaving, you turn on your autofill feature, it will slowly fill up your fresh water tank, so the next morning when you get ready to leave, your fresh water tank's already full. So it makes it very, very easy. We'll go back to the home screen here and go to the HVAC side of things. We have 2 heat pump air conditioners on the roof of this coach. They are 15,000 BTU heat pump air conditioners, so we can do a couple different things. We can use our heat pumps to heat, which is what we're doing right now. We've got it nice up to 63 degrees in here. We can also turn it on air conditioning if it was hot outside. It is zoned to living room and bedroom, so we can control either one there. You can set these up to run programs so that at night it's a little cooler than it is during the daytime, that type of thing as well. But it's very simple. If you can work a tablet or a smartphone, this will be very, 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 very simple for you. So that's a nice system that you have set up here. This runs your slide outs in and out. This turns on our security light and tells our step whether to stay out or whether to come in and out every time. This is new for 2020 in a Ventana. These are the Girard awnings. We'll go over those a little bit more. Well, actually, we probably won't because it's extremely windy in Indianapolis today. These are the molded one-piece awnings I've done in other videos, like you see on the Dutch Star and the New Air. They're not bolted to the side of the coach. They're molded up into the top cap. I can certainly show you what they look like closed up, but we're not going to open one on a day like today. This is the control for that. And when you go to Girard awnings, the nice part about that is you can make the whole side of the coach into kind of one, well, it's two awnings, but kind of the whole side of your coach is under awning cover. And then this is the little over-the-door awning here. So sorry we get off on little tangents there, but there's a lot to talk about in that main control system. Up in this cabinet we have our circuit breakers, and over here we have our 12-volt fuses, and then just a little bit of storage here. And like I always talk about with the Newmar, notice the doors are staying up on their own. These are metal struts, not flimsy little plastic ones. These are lined cabinets, which helps keep noise down. Oh, there's a little Newmar fuse box. The spare fuses, Newmar put them in up here for you. So nice to have them there when you need them. All right, our front shade is power. Okay, that's very nice when you're heading out into the sun. You can bring that down just a little bit. It won't come all the way down, obviously, but you can bring that down just a little bit in order to give yourself some relief from the sun. A lot better than some of the visors out there. And then the rest of our windows have the MCD roller shades, and these are the manual ones. You can do power ones on a Ventana, but that's an expensive system, so I usually don't bring those in like that until we go up to Dutch Star. I'm going to shut the engine off, no reason to waste the fuel. All right, so as I mentioned, this is a residential flex steel hide-a-bed right here, okay? And that'll open up into a queen-size bed, which is a nice size bed for this coach. So this is technically a 4-sleeper. Our dinette does pull out as well. There are 2 leaves in the back closet. These are the 2 leaves. While I'm thinking about it, get off on another tangent. You get to choose the Dutch Star we do. Dutch Star's next on the list. Thank you all for voting. And like I said, it was close, but the short bus won this time. So we have 4 coaches, and they all have some similarities to them that we can do on the Dutch Star. They are all triple slide motorhomes with a full wall slide on this side, and then 2 slides, a bed slide, and an opposing slide on the door side. So driver's side has a full wall, door side has a couple of smaller slides. They're all bath and a half motorhomes, and they're all Dutch Stars. So there are lots in common there. It will be, and we'll put some pictures up on the screen here, a 3709. So that's going to be for you folks that want the shortest bath and a half coach possible. That's going to be a 3709 from Newmar. And listen, I've always said, I think bath and a half coaches, I think it works best on 44, 45 feet long. That's why we like the 4369 so much, because it's almost 44 feet long, and bath and a half just fits very, very well in there. We can do it. We can do a bath and a half in smaller floor plans, but you have to be willing to make some sacrifices. You're obviously not going to get everything that fits in that 43 to 45 footer. It's not going to fit in a 37 footer, so you have to be willing to make those trade-offs. 3709 is going to be my shortest bath and a half Dutch Star, and that does have a king bed now, so that's a good floor plan. Next we step up to the 4020. That's a redone floor plan. It used to be a 4002. The notable part about that is it actually gets the dinette from the driver's side over to the door side of the coach. A lot of people like that. And then the 4328. The 4328 is the closest coach so far, in my opinion, to the 4369. I've always said 4369 is my favorite coach. 4328 is probably my second favorite coach. Very similar, little nicer kitchen area, not quite as nice a rear bathroom in my opinion. And then of course the 4369 Dutch Star is also on the table. So you have 4 coaches to choose from. We've popped them all up on screen there for you. You can pause it and stare at those floor plans a little bit longer if you want to, but those are going to be the 4 floor plans you have to choose from. You can vote down in the comments section below, and we look forward to hearing from you on what you want. All right, so let's get to some of the storage over here by the television, the entertainment, if you will. I'm going to duck under the camera. There we go. Let you get shots in there, Tony. Hope everybody's staying healthy out there amid this. We've been very lucky at the dealership, and nobody's come down with anything. So the nice part about these buffet style dinettes is there is a lot of storage to be had down here. I'm going to try to get doors open so you can see it all. So lots of drawers, storage below. Yeah, I've even had people tell me they put a computer tower down there and a printer down there and then run the wires up through and use their TV as a monitor. Nothing wrong with that at all. So, but I think sometimes maybe a laptop makes a little more sense in a motorhome application. But again, to each their own. This is our Blu-ray player in here, and this is also where your satellite receiver for the front television would go. All right, over the sofa, we have 3 cabinets here. That's actually one big cabinet, 3 doors is a better way to say that. Again, this is lined. That cardboard box up in the front corner there of that cabinet there, that actually contains the pump for the air mattress. This is my favorite, I think, most comfortable bed there is in an RV application. The hide-a-bed that's in here has an air mattress, but not like what a lot of them come with. A lot of them come with that air mattress that looks like something you could buy at Walmart. Nothing wrong with that, but they're not that comfortable. This has an air bladder inside of the mattress ticking, so it's a lot more comfortable to sleep on when you're not sleeping directly on the big hunk of rubbery plastic. So that's a nicer mattress. These chairs are heavy. I mean, you can just sometimes when you're messing with furniture, you can tell when you're dealing with quality. That's definitely what you feel there. The ottomans are flex steel also. This top flips over, so you can use it as kind of a coffee table. And there's storage on the inside. Now, I'm going to tell you the thing I don't like about these ottomans is that they're flex steel and they're heavy. So they take a little bit to move around. Don't fill them with like books or jugs of water or something, because they're heavy enough as it is. So you're not going to want to do that. But they are very nice, very high quality ottomans. When you look at our outlets, we have outlets on both sides of this sofa. That front one actually has the USBs built into it that Tony's shooting now. So that makes it nice. We all have all of our different USB devices. All right, moving back into the kitchen of this 34-foot beast. There's some kitchen storage in the upper. And I'm just going to start opening things down here. So pots and pans drawer, more pots and pans drawer, big drawer for utensils. These are all the soft close. See the way they're pulling themselves in. Then 1, 2, 3 more drawers here. All right, little flip down. Trash can storage. Okay, another flip down. All right, they went with a little more contemporary look this year to the Ventana. Everything's a little more 90 degrees, where in 19 things were rounded and it was a more traditional look. Everything's a little bit more angular, from the cabinetry to the miter cut doors. Everything just a little more contemporary. Stainless steel sink, and again, everything, notice how everything's cut at 90 degrees here. So I like the subway, the clear, I don't know if it's still called subway tile if it's clear like that, but that's what I'm going with. Undermount induction cooktop. Okay. Again, this is an all-electric coach, so you're not going to have a gas stove. You just have to use the induction pans on here, and these cook just fine. Oh, and on the back, actually have a cutting board as well. 30-inch residential convection microwave from Whirlpool. Now, as ceilings get taller, ceilings were down here and you could reach up and touch your Fantastic fan without too much trouble. As ceilings get taller, we're putting remotes in to control the Fantastic fan, and they're kind of hidden from you. I love these wood covers that they use. Instead of on most coaches you just look up and see the Fantastic fan. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not very attractive. Much better to have a remote control for it here, and then to actually have a very useful cover, and this just snaps back in place to go on. Newmar's gotten a lot more detailed on their ceilings. They actually have a machine that flips their ceilings over before they put them on the coach, where they can be a lot more creative with the ceilings. So as you look through, you're not going to see ugly roof vents or anything like that. What you see is nice lighting and vents that are kind of hidden in plain sight. All right, to the bathroom. First things first, we actually have the emergency egress door here. So this door flips open. We've done other videos on that as well, if you want to see how this door works specifically. So I'm not taking up too much time here. Again, please just punch into YouTube, Mount Comfort RV emergency egress door, and I promise you that's going to pop up. You'll see us doing a detailed video on this. But long story short, this is a lot easier to get out than an egress window that you have to crawl out and maybe go head first, and then you're probably not going to stick the landing. So this is a better idea. Okay, look at some of the storage in the bathroom. Okay. Again, 34 footer, so you have to kind of cram everything in tight quarters here. But there's actually a lot of little creative storage here. This shower is actually a really nice size shower. Again, for a 34-foot bus, this is a really big shower. So lots of elbow room here, good height. Look at your faucets. Okay. This is not entry-level stuff. Okay, we got our little water miser guy here. One of my customers just took delivery of this and loves this because he's a racer, and he does a lot of boondocking where they show up and the only water they have is what they brought with them. So you have to be really cognizant of how much water you're using at all points there. What that little blue thing does is you turn that bottom dial and the water starts running, but nothing's coming out the faucet. Now, two problems happen with people that are boondocking. Number one, when you're running that water, you're of course draining your freshwater tank, but you're also filling your gray tank. So that's kind of a double-edged sword there that's not good. Well, with this little water miser system, it starts circulating the water back to the freshwater tank. So all it's doing is circulating through. Well, why would we do that? What good are we doing? You're not sitting there waiting on it to get hot. So the water, when that little blue knob changes color, that means the water's hot and you're ready to jump right in. And then you can jump in, and as soon as you turn the water on, you've got hot water and you didn't waste a drop. So it's really a nice feature. You didn't waste any, you didn't fill up your gray tank. Nice feature. He had his first race this year already, and he called me just to tell me how much he loved that new feature, because he had a previous Newmar that didn't have that, and now he has it. So it's probably his favorite new feature on his coach. Take a look at that door. I love the look of that Newmar door. So many times you see a plain old door there. That has so much more class to it in my mind. All right, let's unlock the fridge here. There we go. Whirlpool all electric refrigerator with ice maker built down into the bottom half of it. Pantry with the pull-out drawers. That's a nice step up from our previous coaches. This one actually has the pull-outs, and these are adjustable in height. You can change those to whatever height you want. And then down here we have the two-fold central vac here. You can either plug tools that it comes with in here and take them all the way to the front of the back of the coach, or you have the what I call the power dustpan there. You just sweep it up and you can flip that up with your foot. All right, something that short buses oftentimes don't have is a king-size bed. This short bus has a king-size bed, so that's nice. In fact, it's a sleep number bed. It does flip up for storage underneath. You're going to see our 2 extra dinette chairs are here, and I can see the little pump back there that tells me it is a sleep number bed, so you can adjust. It is dual control, so you can have, you and your partner will each have control of their own side. Nobody has to fight over how firm or soft the mattress is. As always, there are outlets on either side of the bed here. Another Samsung television here, another Blu-ray player here. Nice part about getting it up here in this in this coach is we didn't lose a drawer down below like we do on so many floor plans. So we actually have 6 drawers like that. That's a lot of drawer storage here. Stackable washer and dryer. Now you could leave this out, this option, you could leave this out and have more wardrobe here if you wanted to, but they actually gave you a pretty nice wardrobe even with that. There's our 2 leaves for our table. There's a safe back in that corner. It's a very well lit closet. All right, so that about covers the inside with it opened up. Let's get you a shot of the inside with it closed up so you can see what kind of aisleways you have. All right, the slides are in. So if this was my floor plan, I would probably do things a little differently when I got ready to pack this up. I would probably either put these on the floor of the closet or lay them on the bed, the 2 ottomans, so they're not sitting here on my sofa, number 1. Number 2, I would definitely lay these 2 chairs on the bed before I went down the road. It's just going to open up this aisle even further. But even if you didn't do that, so I'm kind of showing you worst case scenario. We're fully closed here. So even with it fully closed, you can still, as that one catches me on the way by, get all the way through here. No issues. Okay, into this area, easy in on the bathroom. That's a piece of cake. That's wide open. And the other things we like to talk about, getting to the refrigerator, getting in here, certainly all doable. This is a nice floor plan with the slides closed. This is a nice amount of room, especially considering how much room this coach gives you when it's fully opened up. Again, this coach kind of makes a nice option for somebody that might want a new air, that doesn't want to pay for all the electronics. This is going to come in significantly less than that. By the way, I can give you the sticker price on this is just over $335,000. Obviously, we will make you a great deal that is thousands and thousands of dollars less than that. By agreements with Newmar, I cannot give any price other than MSRP to you on a video. So that's our rules there, and we do play by the rules. So call me if you want direct pricing. Let's take a look at the outside of this coach. All right, so we picked our noisiest spot on the lot to do this video. It's actually just where this coach ended up parked, and it would have been hard to get it out of here, so we just elected to shoot it here. I apologize for any road noise. We're right on I-70 here, just east of Indianapolis, exit 96. So we're going to talk about a few of the things that you get as upgrades over the Country Star, and we'll start up front with some things that aren't new. The flagpole holder, of course, you get the turn signal cameras that we talked about. The chrome mirrors, the beefier wiper blades. You've seen this throughout most of the Newmar lineup so far. Of course, the protective diamond shield on the front, but some things that you didn't see on the Country Star or on some other coaches as well. Let's talk about in here. First of all, I showed you the step well from inside, but what I couldn't show you from the inside is that these have storage in them. It's all Corian. What a great place for the Frisbee or the dog leash or a pair of sandals or all those goodies, all right there in the step well. The other thing is we have keyless entry with a doorbell, so we can punch in whatever code, we can pre-program it for you. So you punch in your own code to unlock the door and or unlock the baggage doors. That's a sweet feature when you don't have to go around with the key every time. And then to lock the coach up, all you do is hold in the one button. Oh, Tony, were your car keys in there? My bad. Hope we know the code to that. Anyway, so moving on, aluminum wheels. We get aluminum wheels when we step up to this. These are the beautiful Alcoas, and those just look better. They also, aluminum cools better than steel, and of course aluminum doesn't rust, so a lot of advantages to the aluminum wheels, but mostly we're guys, they look cool. Fuel fill from either side, so you don't have to be thinking about which side of the pump is you need to get to. You can get to either side of it based on how busy the gas station is, and for God's sake, don't wreck the coach getting there. So next compartment, all fully lined here. That's a deep storage compartment that does not go all the way through, but all of these floors, like we talked about with the Newmar product, they are the thick and insulated floors, and the next compartment does go all the way through there. You have some pass-through storage here. You can't get the same amount of exterior storage on a 34-footer that you can on a 45-footer, but they do a pretty good job of giving you that storage. Behind this wall is actually the holding tanks, but they went ahead and used that space for the outside television. This has the Bose soundbar built into it, also a plug with USBs on there for charging your favorite toys. As always, the Newmar flush mount slides where they're recessed back in the wall to prevent wind, noise, and water and that type of thing on a beautiful masterpiece finished with BASF paints. Got another storage compartment here. These are all lit, and these come on whenever one compartment door is open. All the lights come on. There is a master switch on the inside of the coach where you can shut all of those off if you don't want them coming on. This is our Freightliner chassis disconnect, and these are our house batteries. I'm sorry, these are our chassis batteries. I misspoke. And the chassis batteries are what actually start our engine. I am going quickly because it's a little cold out here today, and it is very noisy, so it's hard to keep my concentration. This is a 360 horsepower Cummins ISB XT engine that's going to come in about 800 foot-pounds of torque and 360 horsepower, obviously, tied to an Allison 6-speed transmission. Unlike other coaches that sometimes have that ISB engine in them, that'll have a 5,000-pound tow limit on it, this coach will actually tow 10,000 pounds, no problem behind it. So that has to do with what transmission they tie it to. Beautiful one-piece cap. One-piece caps prevent leakage. and then you have your camera molded in up at the top. Now when we stand back from this, you can kind of see how the Girard awnings are molded up into the top cap. See the way it kind of stands up there, as opposed to, we got a sports coach here next to it, which is more of a traditional looking roof line. Well, the Girard awnings, come back over here, Tony, I should have done this on this side. The Girard awnings aren't bolted to the side of the coach, they're molded into that top rail. How sweet is that? Gives you huge awning space out under your door side. Now, just to make it look symmetrical, they did put the same look on this side, but understand those are fakes up there. There are not there are not awnings on the driver's side of the coach. More storage here, right back here next to your engine. Again, a lot of coaches wouldn't even give you that compartment. You would open this up and see the side of the engine, but Newmar knows every inch of space is precious when it comes to storage. We do have a 50 amp shore power cord, and this is on the power reel, so that makes it so much easier than wrestling that cord to just hit a button and bring it back in. We have our transfer switch with a built-in surge protector out here as well. In the next compartment forward, we have two things. This is our diesel exhaust fluid. That's for the after treatment on the engine for emissions. And then we have our storage hose, our storage hole for our sewer hose. Moving forward into our wet bay, pretty traditional look here. This is a fully heated compartment. So everything in here is very, very well labeled. You've got your power hose rewind reel, so you're not messing with your freshwater hose. We have this pink hose right here, which is actually our winterization hose. Black tank flush to keep things smelling good. Our whole house water filter keeps our water tasting good. And then we actually have hot and cold water out here if need be for washing up. Moving forward, I mentioned that boiler room earlier. There's the boiler room, the Oasis system. I'm not going to go into huge detail on this. We're not trying to make these videos an hour and a half long, but understand we did do separate videos on hydronic that explains that system to you, and so just look that up or give us a call. We'll give you a link directly to it. Here's the other half of that pass-through storage next to it. Then this pull-out tray has our 8 house batteries on it, and those are pull-out so they are easily serviceable. I mentioned fuel fill from either side. That's the other half. And then this front compartment is basically Freightliner fuses and that type of thing. And then it has the release in here for our front, for our nose, if you will. Oops. And up front here, we're going to have our Onan 8 kW generator. It is a quiet diesel. We're standing a foot from it, and it's still quiet. Our air hookup here for airing up tires and toys. Our air horns are mounted in here so that they don't get cruddy up on the roof and make extra holes in our roof. And then last but not least, we have that little red handle there, which is an option called hot water to generator. And the hot water to generator feature gets us hot water straight up here so we can clean bugs off our windshield with hot water instead of cold water. Okay, so that's it. This is the 2020 Newmar Ventana 3407. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Let us know what Dutch Star you want to see next. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like our video if you did like it. If you didn't like it, don't tell anybody. And we'll see you next time. I'm Chris Anderson with Mount Comfort RV.